Dougie, Steven, Sally, Bill, and Mark. I can see if you and y'all brought your white friends, you can't save them from themselves if you wanted to. Because if karma is real, and it is real, y'all karma bank is full. These the same people that stole us from Africa. Brought us over here, whooped our asses. Gave us new names, gave us jobs without paying. Would fuck a nigga in his ass in front of his wife and laugh. That's who they are. That's who they are. Now time has come. Now time has come. Lord, it's written in the Bible, nigga, y'all shall become our slaves. What did he say? Say the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And nigga, y'all gonna be on. I'm here to tell you, I'm gonna keep my foot on y'all neck. Just like y'all did George Floyd. Keep the pressure on and keep the pressure on. Now all I'm trying to say unto my white friends in the room, I'ma treat y'all real nice when I own you. I'ma let my white slaves be cotton at night. That way the sun don't burn. Because I care about you, my property. I'm only gonna whoop your asses on Thursdays from 7 to 9 o'clock. I said, what the fuck is your name? Good guess, Steven. You know that white man proud. He gonna fight it, ain't you? You gonna fight it. I said, what the fuck is your name? Steven. Oh, so you a badass motherfucker. Oh, you can just take this whipping, huh? Okay, motherfucker. I said, what the fuck is your name? Shaka. Shaka Zulu. It's gonna be a whole lot of light-skinned children on that ribbon plantation. And Sally, you gonna get it.
Shalom, shalom. First, I have to give all glory, all praises and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. And it's a Sakim that's pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. My name is Uriah Quad, coming at y'all with another video. And as you can see, man, people waking up to this truth, man. You could tell he's a secret disciple, maybe of the men of the Lord. But as you can see, man, what he's saying is the truth. And people laughing, but they don't realize what he's saying. It is the truth, and the scriptures speak of those things in which, he's talking about, man. So, Lord willing, this video be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. Let's get into it. This is Isaiah 14:1, because what he heard, what he was saying, man, was true facts, man. The scriptures do speak about the so-called white man, which we know he is not white, because white is just a color, but his biblical name is Esau, and they are also known as the Edomites or the Idumeans. And it's prophesied that they actually finna go into captivity, man, for all the atrocities that they done onto the nation of Israel, man. And we're going to prove it, man. This is Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them. And the stranger he's speaking of is the Israelite foreigners, those who don't know that they're Israelites, but they're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man. The Israelite foreigners, man. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, man. So these other nations, starting with Esau, man, they go into captivity, man. And just like how that we have to serve them in here in Babylon the Great, they got to serve us in captivity, man. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over the oppressors. And were we not their captives? With everything he was saying, it was true, man. They was laughing, thinking he was joking, but he was speaking facts. They was doing butt breaking, all kinds of heinous crimes, and while we was in captivity, even on to this day. The organ harvesting ring, even with this damn whole Maxine Waters, man. because the main target is the target you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, which are the children of Israel, man. They want us to destroy us, man. It's verse 3. And it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So the Lord in that day, man, and that day is fastly approaching, whether you like and understand and believe it or not, man. The Lord finna give us rest from all our sorrow and from all our fear, man. Because we are constantly in fear over here, man. You know what I'm saying? America means bitter, man. This place is a bitter and sorrowful land, man. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere we go, man, we catch hell here, man. This place was never meant for us to prosper. It was a punishment for what we done, man, in our past incarnation, man. But now that punishment, that sentence is finna be up. And Esau, his ass finna go into captivity now, man. And it's finna be doubled onto him, man. Now, granted, we're gonna rule in righteousness, but we still gonna rule with a rod and iron. We're gonna be beating the shit out of Esau ass in the kingdom to come, man. And that's what these devils are afraid of, man. That's why they hate the men of the Lord, because we speak the truth. We speak prophecies, man. And one of the major prophecies that's going to come, man, is Esau's going into captivity, man. That's why they set up the likes of Vocab Malone and all these false prophets and shit to come against the men of the Lord, man. And it's really to come up against this message of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? This is verse 4. That thou shalt take this proverb against the king of Babylon. And who's the king of Babylon right now? Which is America, Babylon the Great. The Edomites. Slakia, slip of the tongue. The Edomites are the king of Babylon, man. Starting with the 1948ers. You know what I'm saying? With those 13 families who ruled the earth. You know what I'm saying? We know who they are. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, say how the oppressor cease. The golden city cease, man. And the Lord is slowly breaking this place down, man. Piece by piece. You know what I'm saying? You may not think the flesh may be like, man, this place look like it's, but man, this place, the Lord is systematically destroying this place, man. And it's a process before, when it comes to breaking everything down, man. The Lord, he works through the process of time. You know what I'm saying? So there's a process going on, man. And which eventually, all this breaking down is going to eventually lead to the ultimate destruction, which is going to be those nuclear fire, right along with the angels coming down and destroying this place, man. Being spearheaded by Yahweh Shai. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers. And the staff represents the strength. You know what I'm saying? Rulership, man. The Lord has broken the strength of the wicked. He who smote the people in the wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, none hither. And that's what these devils do. They rule these nations in anger, man. Name one group of people that's going around the entire earth bombing every goddamn thing. Pushing their philosophies upon people. Forcing their ways upon, society. Destroying the earth. Destroying the animals. Polluting the food. Polluting the air. Hell, even putting trash in space. This is goddamn Edomites, man. The Idumeans, man. You know what I'm saying? He who smote the people in wrath with the continual stroke. He that ruled the nation in anger is persecuted and none hither. Now he's finna be persecuted for everything that he's done, man. Karma's a bitch. And it's finna come back upon you Edomites, man. The whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. They bring forth into singing, man. So when this devil is getting taken out of power, man, the whole earth is going to be at rest. Yea, the fir tree rejoice at thee, the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us. The literal tree is going to rejoice, and the trees which are, because the men is known as referred as trees, but the fir trees in this case is the elect. The elect is those who are going to get saved, the 144,000 and the 1/3 is going to rejoice when your ass is taken out, man. Hail from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It has stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones in the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nation. And all that shall speak and say unto thee, thou hast become weak as us, and thou art become like unto us. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vow, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. And the speaking of America, man, Babylon the Great, because Lucifer just means light bearer. And the Americas and the Edomites is looked as what? The lights of this world, man, which is not a light. It's an illusion of light. Because all this ways, man, philosophies and ways of life is really death at the end of the day. It said, how thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations, man. And this man has weakened the nations, man. How? Through his philosophies and also raging war. Let's drop that real quick. Let's go to Revelations 13:9. And I watched that a couple of days ago, man. And it was funny, man. But as you can see, man, Eddie Griffith was speaking, man. He was speaking the truth. He was Edomites in the crowd. They was probably pissed off inwardly, probably, but laughing outwardly to try to mask that pain, that shame. But it's coming for you, devils, man. I'm saying? This is Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth to captivity shall go into captivity. So he that have an understanding, understand this. And the same people that led us into captivity, they're going to captivity, right along with the other nations. Esau and these other nations, all of them going into captivity, man. Why? Because they all conspired together. You can read about that in Psalms 83. They came together to put us in captivity and to try to cut off the name of Israel. But they didn't bank on that the Spirit of the Lord was going to come back in these latter end, and the Lord was going to put the Spirit upon us to wake up and to cause us to remember and to bethink ourselves and to return back onto Him. They didn't bank on that the remnant was going to wake up in the last days, man. They didn't consider Ezekiel 37 coming to pass. They didn't consider Revelations 11:11. They didn't consider those things, man. You know what I'm saying? And as we waking up, man, you seeing more chariot sightings, and you seeing this place being totally destroyed, man, systematically. What is by the hands of the elite? But we understand at the end of the day, it's all by the Spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, because the Lord controls everything. He that leadeth to captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And the modern day sword is what? His guns, his tanks, his army, his bombs. His ass going to be destroyed, man. Because why? He's going to reap, you're going to reap what you've been sowing. Galatians 6:7. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, man. We are patiently waiting for. We patiently waiting for to put this damn devil into captivity, man. Because why? Esau's the end of the. Let's get that real quick. 2nd Ezra 6:9. And I got a couple notes that I took down for this lesson. I'm going to bring out. This is 2nd Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it that follows, man. So we're going to rule the world in the world to come, man. This is the last rule. Esau is the last ruling Gentile nation to rule this earth. And all these nations had us in captivity. But there was nothing worse than this captivity that we had over here in Babylon the Great, man. You know what I'm saying? All these nations have partaken in the captivity of the nation of Israel, man. All of them have been guilty. But none of them has went to the full extent that this devil Esau has went to, man. Butt breaking. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard the term cheaper by the dozen? And motherfucker, what they'll do is they have, you have Jake has sex with his they'll blindfold Jake that's at the age of he be able to ejaculate and force him to have sex with his mother, blindfolded. Kind of shit that is, man. And they used to have a lot of retarded kids, so what they'll do is they'll sell, a dozen of retarded or lame Israelite children by the dozen for cheap. This is the shit that this devil used to do, man. So imagine how much what we're going to do in the kingdom of heaven, but we're going to rule in righteousness, though. You know? Let's drop that real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah 31. It's one of my favorite chapters to read, man. You know what I'm saying? Because why? The Lord's going to put the reason why this devil was able to rule over us, because why? We sinned against our power. We fell, you know what I'm saying? And with us sinning, we fell from our grace. But the Lord said in the last days, man, He's going to return back onto us. He's going to deliver us, and we're going to inherit a new spiritual body where the law is going to be in us inwardly. And we're not going to sin, because the wages of sin is what? Death. Which means we're not going to die. We're going to be immortals. And what comes with immortality? Spiritual powers, all kinds of things, wealth, slavery, slaves, rulership, man. And that's what we're finna do. We're going to rule these. That's in the world to come. That's what we're going to do. We're going to rule these nations with a rod of iron. This is Jeremiah 31:1. At the same time, saith the Lord, would I be a God to all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Thus saith the Lord, they which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I have caused him to rest. The Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore the loving kindness have I drawn thee. And again I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O Virgin of Israel. And it's speaking of the elect, the remnant that's going to be delivered, man. Eventually all of Israel is going to be saved, but 2/3 have to die on this side and be born in the kingdom as children. But they're going to burn up on this side, right? Because why? They follow this devil in all his ways. But the Lord is going to come back and deliver the remnant. And again, I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Salakia. Hell no. Again, slip of the tongue. Again, I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O virgin of Israel. Thou shalt again be adorned with tabrets, and go forth in the dances of them that make merry. And thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria, and a planter shall be planted, and shall eat them as common things. Which means the Lord's going to restore us to our former glory, man. You know what I'm saying? But better this time. Because why? We're not going to go off ever again, man. The kingdom of heaven is going to be an everlasting kingdom, man. This devil's never going to rule the planet Earth ever again, man. For there shall be a day that a watchman upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry and say, arise, and let us go up to Zion unto the Lord our power. For thus saith the Lord, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations. Publish ye, pray ye, O Lord, save thy people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them from the north country. And what's the north country? America, North America, man. And gather them from the coast of the earth. And with them the blind and the lame, and the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child together, a great company shall return hither. And this is a future prophecy. Because the Lord's going to gather the elect that's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Because you're going to have Israelites coming from all nations. You're going to have Israelites looking like Asians, Chinese, more and Ishmael, Ham, even some Israelites that look like Esau, man. But in the spirit, in the spirit, and in the flesh, in the spirit and by the seed, they are the children of Israel, man. And the Lord is going to deliver them, man. And there shall come weeping, and with supplication with supplication would I lead thee, and I will cause them to walk by the rivers of water in the straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim my firstborn. Hear the words of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him, as a shepherd do his flock. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. And the Lord is going to deliver us from him that was stronger than us, man. Esau, right now, he makes it seem like his kingdom's never going to fall. He's in rulership. He has all the power. But people don't realize, man, the Lord gave this man all this power just to destroy his ass within 1 hour. And it's the Lord that ought to be set this damn devil up, man. Because as you can see, this devil's not fit to rule. He's the base of the nations, man. He's the worst of all the heathens, man. So there had to be a spiritual power to allow this devil to do the things in which he done, man. Therefore shall they come and sing in the heights of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord for wheat and for wine and for oil and for the young of the flock and of the herds, and their souls shall be watered as a garden. They shall not sorrow any more at all. Then shall the virgins rejoice and dance, both the young men and old together, for I will turn their mourning into joy, and will comfort them and make them rejoice from their sorrows. So the Lord's going to come back and deliver us, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's going to come back and deliver us, man. So let's drop that real quick. And who he's going to use to deliver us? He's going to use Yahweh Shai, who the word and he calls Jesus Christ, man. You know what I'm saying? He's Yahweh Shai, he's the savior or the deliverer, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Isaiah 63. This is one of my favorite chapters, man. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, man. The Lord is coming back with glory, man. With those chariots, those so-called UFOs, man. That's how Yahweh Shai is coming back, man. And we could prove that real quick. Let's go to Acts 1 and 1 and 5. Salakia. I'll start at 1:9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received them out of their sight, which was a chariot. And while they looked steadfastly towards the heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in a white apparel. And this speaking of Yahweh Shai being taken up on a cloud. And these 2 white men are the angels, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why ye stand up gazing up into heavens? The same Yahweh Shai which is taken up from you into heavens, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heavens. You know what I'm saying? So into heaven. So the same way how he went up to the heaven is the same way how he's coming down. The Lord's coming back with that glory, man. But he's not coming out to give out kingly kisses and hugs, man. The Lord's coming back to destroy this fucking place and to deliver his elect. You know what I'm saying? Those, you know what I'm saying? Salakia. Who is that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Salakia. Who is that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments are like him that treadeth in the wine fat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I would tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiments. For the day of vengeance is my heart, and the year of my redeem is come. The year of the Lord's redeem has come, man, which means the Lord's going to come back and redeem his people. And he's going to take vengeance upon these heathens for what they done to his elect, man. And I looked, and there was none to help. And I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I would tread down the people in my anger to make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring their strength to bring down their strength to the earth. And I will mention the loving kindness of the Lord and praise of the Lord according to all that the Lord has bestowed unto us, and the great goodness towards the house of Israel as we have bestowed unto them according to his mercy and according to the multitude of his loving kindness. For he says, surely they are my people, children that will not lie. So he was their savior. Woo! So the Lord's coming back to save us, man. And we're, you know what I'm saying, he's coming back and he's going to destroy Esau, man. You know what I'm saying? When he said Basra was known as the capital of Edom. And what's the capital? What's the headquarters of Esau's empire? Babylon the Great. The Lord's going to destroy this fucking place right along with the rest of the other heathens, man. And establish the kingdom of heaven on earth, man. You know what I'm saying? With the elect. Which would be the 144,000 and the 1/3. And in all their affliction he was afflicted, and the angel of his presence saved them. And in his love and his pity he redeemed them, and he bare them and carried them all the days of old. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is coming back to deliver us, man. He's coming back to destroy this fucking place, man, and to put these nations in captivity. And if we endure everything that's to come, Jacob's trouble, the outward temptation, that's what the Lord said we're gonna do, Lord willing. Cause what Matthew 24:13 said, he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. And before he said all that in that chapter, man, what he was talking about before all that was to come, great wars, tribulations. You know what I'm saying? All these things must happen, man, for salvation come, man. But with that salvation, what's going to come with that? Putting these nations in captivity, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Revelations 2:25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him would I give power over the nations. Woo! And he shall rule them with the rod of iron. And he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as of a vessel potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. And he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches, man. They're letting you know, man, the Lord is not coming back to save all the nations, man. He's only coming back to save a particular nation. And within that nation, he's only coming back to save a particular group of people, which is the remnant of the nation of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? The elect. The tabernacles of David, man. Let's drop that real quick. Let's go to Psalms 72. You know what I'm saying? Psalm 72. And it was speaking of Solomon, but we understand through the Spirit that Solomon was Yahweh Shah, man. Give the king thy judgment, O power, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. And who's the king? Who's the king's son? Solomon, man. This is, you know what I'm saying? He shall judge the people with righteousness and the poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people, and he shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressors, man. This is speaking of a future prophecy, man. The Lord is going to break in pieces the oppressors, man. Because when Solomon ruled, man, David already put all the nations, you know what I'm saying? The Lord put the Spirit upon David to conquer all the nations. You know what I'm saying? Solomon didn't have to do nothing. It was just peace on earth. But this time, man, this is speaking of Yahweh Shah through in the Spirit, man. He's going to be the one that's going to break the nations in pieces, man. The oppressors, man. He's the one that's going to come back and to judge the poor. And he's going to look out for those who have a broken and a contrite spirit, man. His people, man. Because the Lord only died for the nation of Israel, contrary to what the Christian church teach you, man. He didn't die for these fucking nations, man. You know what I'm saying? This damn devil did all these atrocities. You think the Lord died for him to have a spot in the kingdom of heaven? Hell no, man. This is Psalms 2 and 6. Yeah, I have set my king upon the holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. This is Yahweh Shah in spirit. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathens for thy inheritance, and the uttermost part of the earth for thy possession. So the heathen is going to be the Yahweh Shah inheritance, which is ultimately going to be our inheritance, Lord willing. Because why? We're going to be made joint heirs with Yahweh Shah, man. And thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Did we just not read that in Psalm Revelation 2 and 26? Be wise, therefore, O ye kings. Be instructors, O ye judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. This is speaking of the nation of Israel, because we are a nation of kings and priests. So we got to be wise, man. And we got to serve the Lord with fear. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish by the way when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are they that put their trust in him, man. So we got to put our trust in the Lord and follow the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. So we won't be put to death right along with these nations, man, and 2/3 of our people, man. You know? Let's go to Amos 9 and 11. Amos 9 and 11. In that day would I raise up the tabernacles of David that is fallen. And that's what's going on right now, man. The Lord is raising up the tabernacles of David, man. Which is the elect. The 144,000, man. That's what you're seeing right now. The tabernacles of David is being rebuilt again. The spiritual temple, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the temple is with men, man. It's a spiritual temple we building, man. That's why it's important we doing this work, man. And we laboring, man. Because we building the temple, man. And I close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Because when David ruled, when David was the first king to unite the whole 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And what David was doing, he was conquering the heathens, man. He was putting the heathens in subjection. And David had the Edomites as slaves, man. And the same thing's gonna happen in the future prophecy, which is not in the not too distant future, man. That they may possess the remnant of Edom, because all the Edomites is not going to be destroyed when the Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, but you still going to have the elites. They're the first ones that's going to go into captivity, man. These top rich banking families, man. You know what I'm saying? We just watched that video where Eddie Griffin said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Who ruled this current earth right now? It's Esau, man. Starting with the 1948. They the one that control all facets of the media, the banking system, the food, the quality of the food. So they're going to be the first ones to be put into captivity. Because why? When America's being destroyed, they're going to be in those bunkers, hiding, man. And we're going to go into them bunkers and get their ass and chain their ass up and put them into captivity. that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathens, and and which I call by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. Woo! The plowman, man. We are looked as the plowman, because wow, we built this fucking place, man, from the ground up. Even the literal White House was built by the backs of slaves, man. And they took this land from the native and the native and the Hispanic tribes, man. So-called Native American and Hispanic tribes, man. And the treaders of the great him that soweth the seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people, which means the Lord is going to come back and redeem his people, man. And they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant the vineyards and to drink the wine thereof, and they shall also make the gardens and eat the fruit of them. And the Lord's going to blow them fucking gutter rats out of our land too, man. Those nasty ass people that's over there possessing our land. Because what the Lord said, that our land should be trodden of the Gentiles to the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, man. Those people that's dwelling in our land are Gentiles, man. Natural Gentiles, man. And although we have some of our people scattered over there, but the Lord's gonna blow those damn 1948ers out of our land, right along with them other heathens, man. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land which I have given them, saith the Lord, man. So we're not gonna ever be plucked out, man. We're gonna be established. The kingdom, the government of the nation of Israel is gonna be established forever, man. It's never gonna fall, man. So I'm going to pull out 2 more scriptures and I'm going to close out. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. I'm starting at 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brothers Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. For everything that this devil has done unto us, man, he's going to be cut off forever. Not for the shit he did in this captivity, but for always leading back to Cain. Cain, that when he killed Abel and it was killing the sons of God, Cain and his lineage was killing the sons of God. Even when he came back as Esau, man, who's responsible for destroying the temple, man? The Romans, man. You know, the physical temple, and then what they trying to do is destroy the spiritual temple, but they're not going to be able to prevail, man. Because the spirit is way powerful than any carnal thing that this devil's finna come up and trying to do, man. You know what I'm saying? In that day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captives, his forces and foreigners entered into his gate and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. Because when the Babylonians rolled in, man, Esau was helping the Babylonians to capture us, man. Thou shouldest not look on the day of thy brothers in the day, but thou shouldest not look on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. Thou shouldest not enter into the gates of my people in the day of their calamities. Yea, thou shouldest not look on their affliction in the day of their calamities, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldst thou have stood in the crossways to cut off of those of his that did escape. Neither should thou deliver up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all heathen, and as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall be returned upon thy own head. Woo! So everything that you done unto us is going to be doubled unto you, man. Fucking devil, man. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mount, so shall the heathens drink continue. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be the deliverance, and there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Which means you're going to put your ass against captivity. All the riches that you hoarded for yourselves is going to be translated onto the nation of Israel, man. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken. Because after the 1,000 years of captivity, your ass is going to be exterminated, man. The Lord's going to do away with the nation of Israel, man. I'm going to jump to verse 21. And saviour shall come up out of Mount Zion to judge the house of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Woo! So your ass going to captivity, buddy boy. I'm gonna pull out one more scripture, then I'm gonna close out. This is Revelations 19:11, man. This is what we looking for. This is what the saints is hoping to see, man. And it's going to happen, man. And I saw heavens open, and behold, a white horse. And so this is Yahweh Shai coming in his glory. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he do judge and make war. His eyes was as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Because why? The Lord is going to come back and take down all these nations, man. Because in the ancient time, it was a custom for a king when he conquered another kingdom, he took the crown from off that king who ruled that particular region of the earth. And the Lord's going to do the same thing in these last days, man. And he that had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name was called the Word of Yahweh, man. We already know who the Word was. John 1:1. Yahweh Shai. And the armies which were in heaven follow him upon the white horse, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he shall tread the winepress of the fierceness and the wrath of his Almighty. As you see how beautiful the scriptures precept, what it connects, man. We just read about him, what? The winepress is what? In Isaiah 63. And he had on the vesture and on his thigh a name written, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord said, man, the Lord's coming back in his glory. And he's going to destroy this fucking place, man. And I saw the angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourself together unto the supper of the great Lord, and that ye may eat the flesh of the kings and the captains and the flesh of the captain, the flesh of the mighty men, and the flesh of the horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great, man. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and all their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast, and of them that worship the image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire with brimstone. And the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, with the sword that proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh, man. So the Lord's coming back to destroy this damn devil and this beast system, man. And then to put in subjection all these nations, man. All these heathens, man, are going to captivity. Right along with 2/3 of our people, man, that follow the ways and wander after the beast. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, I'm going to leave it at that. Lord willing, this video was edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashir Shah. I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Bashir Yahweh Bashir Kakadash. Double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, peace and salutations to Ophi Lek and Sisakim is pushing the truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.